Hello, I'm Dynast Amir.
So I reached out to another friend of mine. I said, look, I need to go on vacation somewhere. Where should I go? He said, go to Africa. And not only am I going to go, I'm going to explore a new country. So I went to Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, Senegal, Morocco, Liberia, Namibia, Kenya, the Voodoo Festival in Ouida, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria. It's been a beautiful experience, just learning more about our culture, our indigenous culture. So Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I'm in search of my roots. In finding that, I would experience my Uhuru, which is freedom.
Till next time, Dynast Amir, I'm out.
Okay, there we go. Can you hear me now? I apologize. Can you hear me now? Okay. Guys, do me a favor. K&K Squad, send me email, Uhuru at searchforuhuru.com, Uhuru at searchforuhuru.com. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you go to dynastyamir.com. Also, listen, guys, I need you to cop the documentary, okay? I need you to cop the documentary. Greatly appreciate it. Go to searchforuhuru.com. Click on buy now and buy the documentary, family. Okay, I never got an email from you. Hold on. Let me check this right now. Give me a second, guys. Sorry about that. Never got an email from you. Hold on one second. But anyways, guys, make sure you go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. I greatly appreciate it. Listen, I want to sell 5,000 copies this month. This month. There's 106,000 of you. So I need you guys to go and buy the documentary. I need to tell your family, tell your friends, all that good stuff. I never got. Hey, I'm in my inbox right now. I don't see email. Do me a favor, K&K. Email me again. Do me a favor. Email me again. I greatly appreciate it. If I overlooked it, I apologize, family. Again, I apologize. But send me an email. Go to Uhuru at searchforuhuru.com and shoot me an email. Also, what else we got going? Excuse me, guys. Make sure you go and buy the documentary. Shout out to Elvis. Elvis bought 3 copies of the documentary. We appreciate our Liberian brother. We appreciate our Liberian brother for buying 3 copies of the documentary at searchforuhuru.com. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Again, shout out to everybody in the chat room. Hey, listen, guys. I know you guys think I'm playing, but I'm dead serious. Again, I know you guys think I am playing. Next year, I'm getting a gold grill and I'm putting out a rap album. Shout out to Fake Recognize Fake. The documentary was fire. Thank you, brother. So go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. And listen, I know you guys think I'm playing, but I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. Listen, next year, I'm getting a gold grill and I am putting out a documentary. I'm sorry, an album. I'm putting out an album next year, y'all. I'm dead serious. Don't knock the listen, y'all. Don't knock the bush meat till you try it. Don't knock the bush meat till you try. I'm dead. Y'all laughing. I'm getting a gold grill and I'm putting out an album. Marie, y'all listen. Y'all laughing. I'm dead serious. I'm gonna put out an album next year and I'm gonna get a gold grill. But anyways, guys, go to donfo.africa. We are rolling to Sierra Leone in November. So listen, we have a couple more slots available. Citizenship is available to those who qualify. Citizenship is available to those who qualify in Sierra Leone. Hit me up November 20th through December 3rd. We are rolling to Sierra Leone. Man, it's going to be spoken word. I'm going to spit on it. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of everything. But it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. What's this? Yeah, it's going to be nice. You want to go to Sierra Leone? Well, listen, KK, send me an email. I didn't get your email, KK. I'm sorry. I'm looking through it right now. Or send me an email right now. You're more than welcome to roll. But yeah, we are rolling to Sierra Leone in November. If you'd like to join us, please go to donfo.africa. Again, please go to donfo.africa, guys. We'll love to have you. We're going to open up the lines here in about 30 minutes. But hey, I just want to thank you all for joining again this Thursday night, the day before Friday. Yeah, day before Friday. Thank you for joining. And guys, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. So listen, other tours. Now, the site is being updated. It should be done by tomorrow. But next April, Sierra Leone. May, we're going to Senegal for the Jazz Festival. August, rolling to Nigeria for the Oshun Festival. Then November, we're going to Zanzibar. Everybody said they want to roll to Zanzibar. So we're rolling to Zanzibar in November of next year. And then, guys, I'm going to Benin. Listen, I got another announcement. Benin, rolling to Benin in January for the Voodoo Festival. Voodoo Festival. If you want to roll, hit me up. Go to donfo.africa and send me a message. Again, go to donfo.africa and send me a message. But everyone, as you come to the chat room, hit the like button. We'll open up the chat here, open up the lines here in about 30 minutes. But first of all, as you guys know, unless you've been hiding under a rock, Queen Elizabeth passed away. And some of y'all are like upset and crying that she passed away. And we talked about this before because we spoke on this when Meghan Markle was crowned princess or whatever she was. How Black folks celebrate European monarchy more than they do their own African monarchs. The Alaafin of Oyo passed away either last year or earlier this year. Passed away. Y'all wasn't crying. I didn't see no rest in peace. I didn't see none of that. But for some reason, The queen passes away. Y'all want to jump in the casket with her. Again, some of y'all want to jump in the casket with her. But when the Zulu king died last year, when Alaafin of Oyo died, I think it was last year, earlier this year, y'all was nowhere to be found. Y'all need to stop this. Y'all need to stop this. Okay, y'all need to stop. All right. Y'all need to stop this. Okay. So I wanted to start off with that. Again, I wanted to start off with that. And listen, I'm going to tread lightly on this next story. Okay. I don't know what it is with Kenyan women. All right. Kenyan women. Kenyan women. How do I want to say this? Because I want to be nice. Guys, I want to be nice. In fact, let me find this video real quick. Hold on one second. Give me a second. Let me find this real quick. I don't know, man. Kenyan women, man, when they see a white man, they just go crazy. I mean, we got a Kenyan woman who met a man off of Craigslist. Who in the hell is still dating off of Craigslist? The only thing, there was no dating on Craigslist. You was selling it, you know what? Only thing that goes on is on Craigslist is you selling that cat on Craigslist. That's the only thing that goes on Craigslist. I mean, date who you want. But I'm gonna play this video. I'm gonna find this video. But I don't know. I've never met a Kenyan woman in America who had a black husband or black boyfriend. I've never met one. And it's odd. Again, date who you want, but again, I've never met a Kenyan woman with a black husband or black boyfriend. So here's the story. Family searching for Kenyan woman who went missing after meeting boyfriend on Craigslist. Okay, listen. Ain't no meeting a boyfriend on Craigslist. That's prostitution. I'm sorry. Again, like I said, I have never met a Kenyan woman here in America with a black boyfriend or husband. Never met one. Kenyan family is distraught and seeking answers about the disappearance of a woman after she moved to Wyoming to be with the man she met on Craigslist. Nah, ain't no meeting a boyfriend on Craigslist. You are selling that thing on Craigslist. That's what's going on Craigslist. Irene Gakwa's family hasn't seen her face since. I take that back. I'm sorry. I do know a Kenyan woman here in America who's married to a Kenyan man. I apologize. I'm sorry. So my Kenyan homeboy, I'm not going to say your name. I apologize. You have a Kenyan wife. Kenyan wife has a Kenyan husband. Irene Gakwa's family hasn't seen her face since February. The last time I had physical contact with her was last Thanksgiving. In March, CNN reported that Gakwa's family reported her missing after noticing a change in her communication. It had been less than 3 years since Gakwa, 32, left Kenya for the United States, and her family had no idea she was living in Gillette, Wyoming, with a man she met in a Craigslist forum. Goodness. The missing persons report was filed after Gakwa's parents noticed she stopped returning the repeated video calls and started using a different tone in her text messages. Instead of responding using a mix of Swahili and Kenyan, like Gakwa is known to do, the messages were in stilted English and read as if someone was using Google Translate to send them. The text would be out of place, her father, Francis Combo, said. Gakwa's last message was sent on March 9th. Since she shared a family plan with her siblings, they were able to search records. That's when they learned Gakwa had relocated from Idaho, where she initially moved after leaving their native Kenya to live in Gillette with her boyfriend Nathan Heitman, 39. And we should see Nathan. Heitman told police he hadn't seen Gakwa since she moved out in late February. He also claimed to have taken money out of her bank account so that she would be forced to contact him if she needed money. Oh, goodness. However, Hitman didn't just take money out of Gakwa's account. He also transferred nearly $3,700 from Gakwa's bank account to his own and spent an additional $3,230 on her credit card. Must be nice. Man, the snow god gets the money, gets to spend the credit card, go on shopping sprees on a credit card and everything. When Gakwa's family asked Hitman for her belongings, he refused. He also reportedly refused to participate in the active investigation to her disappearance. In May, the Gillette Police Department charged Hitman with 2 felony counts of theft, 1 felony count of unlawful use of a credit card, and 2 felony counts of crimes against intellectual property for allegedly changing her banking account password and deleting her email account after she vanished. Wow. All the changes were reportedly made from an IP address associated with Hitman after he claimed Gakwa moved out. This would indicate it was Nathan Hitman's accessing Irene's account. See, man, listen, Nathan get access. See, listen, this is what I'm talking about right here. Snow God gets access to the bank account, credit cards. Meanwhile, these sanctions to be like, man, black men don't want to build. Black men ain't trying to build. I got me a snow god because they want to build something. They want to build. And that he gets access to the credit cards, debit cards, bank account. This would indicate it was Nathan Hitman's accessing Irene's account, removing money, and changing the password to deny access to Irene, the affidavit said. These transactions began on February 25th, 2022, and continued through March 2022. Upon further review, police found that Heckman purchased a shovel and boots at a Walmart in late February using Gakwa's Visa card. Shovel and boots. Yeah. She's buried somewhere. Hitman pleaded not guilty to all charges and was released on a $10,000 bond, so $1,000. He continues to avoid answering questions about the case ahead of his pre-trial conference scheduled for November. Meanwhile, the Gillette community has joined with Gakwa's family in searching for the missing woman. They launched a website, Where is Irene, to raise awareness and hopefully find her. Guys, I want to find this video real quick. Hold on. This is a video I want to play. Here we go, right here, of this Kenyan woman. Here we go. Guys, like, oh my God. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Hold on. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me try to pull this up on another screen. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. Oh, and guys, let me say this. This is on Tariq's page, but I mean, separate the message from the messenger. Like this right here is embarrassing. Hold on, let me play this real quick. And this stage is limited. And this stage is limited to.
This is white men are very.
Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. Here we go, guys. All right, guys, here you go. And this is the mentality of like a lot of Kenyan women that I run into, especially here in America, right here, what we're about to listen to.
White men are gentlemen. This is no has no doubt because that is white men are gentlemen. This is no has no doubt because that is true. They are really gentle because these guys will always do anything for you. They will show you love. They will treat you well. They will take you to places. They will do anything for you. Literally everything. They will do everything for you. These guys are gentlemen. They will die for you. They will do things that an African guy will think, hey, please, this is too much. White men are really gentlemen. There's nothing they can never do. And white men are gentlemen. This is no has no doubt because that is true. They are really gentle because these guys will always do anything for you. They will show you love. They will treat you well. They will take you to places. They will do anything for you. Literally everything. They will do everything for you. These guys are gentlemen. They will die for you. They will do things that an African guy will think, hey, please, this is too much. White men are really gentlemen. There's nothing they can never do. And white men are gentlemen. This is no has no doubt because that is true. They are really gentle because these guys will always do anything for you. They will show you love. They will treat you well. They will take you to places. They will do anything for you. Literally everything. They will do.
That was cringeworthy. But hey, I wonder if you guys remember this story from a few years back of this white guy that was in Kenya, a white guy that was in Kenya that was giving all these Kenyan women HIV. Mike Oliver. Here we go. Here we go right here. Here we go, guys. Let's share the screen. This guy right here, Mike Oliver. And the thing is, like the type of European men that show up to Kenya that these Kenyan women go crazy over. I mean, these guys come straight off the plane, just a backpack, a beat up polo shirt or a t-shirt, some beat up khaki shorts, and some flip flops. And they get all the Kenyan women. They get them all. They get them all. Hey, listen, but if that's what you're into, by all means, go for it. I'm talking about they come off the plane, only a backpack, a beat up white t-shirts, a beat up khaki shirts, and some flip flops. And they be pulling all the Kenyan women. I'm dead serious. Let's read this story. Mike Oliver, the deadbeat tourist who affected over 20 Kenyan women with HIV. The news are coming fast and thick. We are experiencing the peak of the juicy gossip gone sour as the alleged HIV carrier is now leading the Twitter twins chart. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, I don't need to really go into it. But yeah, this guy right here went to Kenya, was getting all the women, was raw boning them, and spreading HIV. Yeah, Kenya. Dead serious. Hey, listen, hey, do you? Hey, Kenyan women, that's what you're into? Hey, man, go for it. But see, they don't tell that part. Kenyan girls missing. Kenyan girls missing, getting affected by HIV. They don't tell that part. Another missionary was sleeping with kids in Kenya too. Yeah, man. I mean, it's just disgusting. But anyway, I'm gonna put the link in the chat room. If you guys want to call in, click on that link and call in. Again, if you guys want to call in, links in the chat room. You can call in. Link is in the chat room, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Hit that like button. They want that U.S. citizenship and good life on the West from the white man. Yeah, but is getting buried with the Walmart shovel and getting HIV, putting your life at risk of HIV, is it worth it? I'm just saying, man. Elvis Morris, go ahead. Go ahead, Elvis. Go ahead, Elvis.
You hear me, Dennis?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, like there's a bit of a double standard when it comes to black men and black women, right? You hear brothers saying the same thing when you ask a black dude why he date white girls, he said, "Well, they're cooperative. You know, they don't they don't got the attitudes like black girls have. They're respectful. They're down for anything. You know, they'll give you money and shit like that." Black dudes will say the same exact thing that girl was saying in the video. Not that I agree with it or not, but we've heard that before. So we can't just be one sided and say that black women love white men more than black men love white women. Because in America, more black dudes are dead out of race than black women. You know. So
Elvis,
in Africa, hold on.
Elvis,
In Africa,
Elvis, are African men coming to America and going missing at the hands of white women?
hold on. I'm getting to a point, Dynasty. In Africa, you've been there a few times. I live there and I have family members who are from there. Domestic abuse in Africa is rampant. Cheating, infidelity in Africa is rampant.
It's
Women in
rapid
Africa,
here. It's rapid here.
I know, but I'm trying to tell you that women in Africa don't get treated like the queens. They don't get treated like the way they should be treated.
So what's your point? Elvis, what's your point? Elvis, you there? Go ahead, Ajisa. Unmute yourself.
Yo, what up, Donis? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
Are you getting me?
Go ahead. What'd you say, Elvis?
No, you. I don't know if you're hearing me or not. I was trying to say something.
We didn't hear you, but yeah, they're not. I mean, I don't understand your point. Like, what do you? Right.
My point is, black women in Africa are mistreated, and our men in Africa, especially. I don't know about America, but they beat on them, they cheat on them rampantly. So if a girl is speaking from her experience from Kenya and telling you that white men treat her more gently, white men are more, caring about her than her black African, men from Africa, that's her own experience. And you can ask black guys in America, they'll tell you, white girls, they're more, understanding. They'll go along with the program. They'll even give you money when you need it. That's why some black dudes choose to date white girls, because they're more, respectful of you as a man, rather than a black girl who's going to give you attitude and give you all that sass. I'm not agreeing with it. I've never dated a white woman. I'm black man married to a black African woman. But I'm telling these are some of the things that happens.
Are you saying all African women get their ass beat by African men, every single one?
No, not all, of course not. But definitely, Donnie, if you ask any honest African man, they'll tell you. In Africa, I don't know if every African country is like that, but African women get beat a lot. If you ask any honest.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Ajisa. Go ahead, Ajisa.
I got a question for Elvis. Elvis, do you think she's really being honest in that's honestly how she has that experience? You think she's being genuine?
Yeah, that might be her personal experience, bro. We can't speak for everybody and think everybody has the same experience. That might just be her experience.
Bro,
And
sometimes I think you just be contrarian just to be contrarian, just for the
yeah,
sake of it.
I seen that in one of the comments
But
that you made, and that was a funny comment. But I'm just being
I
honest.
did.
Let's be honest, bro.
I haven't made a comment. I never made a comment. But I'm just
Okay, but
saying,
I saw that in the comments on the last
you
video that I was a part of. But
you
let's be
can't.
honest, bro. When you have you ever dated a white woman before? A white woman?
Okay, so what I'm gonna say to that is,
No, bro. I'm just asking you a question. Yes or no?
I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah, but
Okay.
that's no big
All right.
deal. Look, but here's the thing.
All right.
I never went around saying, and I think from a man's perspective, it's a little bit different because we're not looking for women to take care of us or doing it. Yeah, there are brothers that say that shit. But you know what? And to Donis, I want to say this. You know what I think it is people, and unfortunately, it's a lot of people, whether be it in America or within the diaspora. These people are just not self-actualizing people. They have no agency. Like, and Donis, you might be able to agree to this. When you have accomplishments in life, when you're actually getting somewhere, when you actually have agency, and you got some W's under your belt, you can, you're not totally, you don't look through somebody else for your salvation. You don't think like that. And I just think that's what it is. These people, they don't, it's unfortunate, and coming from Africa, but I just think these people have no agency. They just, you know, they can't, do anything for themselves, and they feel that, okay, I have to go through the loins of somebody of another race. They know the history. I mean, even if they can claim ignorance of the history, they know, the underlying animosity from these people, but they still do it. But Donis, I do want to say something, because this is that Mike Oliver story. This is very common. I know personally a man. Well, he recently passed like a year ago, but he was Lebanese, part of the Lebanese diaspora that went to West Africa. And he was actually started off in Sierra Leone, went to the Congo, Angola. Do you know that this guy had 30 children from African women? These are children that he claimed, 30. It was almost like a sport with this guy.
I believe it.
It was no, it was so check this out. He had a Lebanese wife, but the only person that he married was his Lebanese wife and his 4 kids. I mean, that family was still fucked up, but he married
Was he
actually the
Muslim?
Lebanese wife.
Was he Muslim?
No, he wasn't doing out of Islam. Because he was getting with Christian women. He was getting with anybody. I mean, he would
No,
find these
a
young.
Muslim man could get with
Elvis,
a
be
Christian
quiet.
woman.
Elvis,
It's not against the Quran.
Elvis, stop. I don't stop. Okay. So what he was doing was he would find these little girls, and he even said it. He was like, that he's doing these children a favor because he gave them life. I mean, he was just fucking women like a sport. And the crazy thing is, like, when he died, I'm sitting here looking at like, y'all honor this motherfucker? Like, I guess that's the only father they had. They all knew he was a deadbeat, but the culture over there is different. You don't like openly say it, but that kind of thing, I feel some type of way about it, because you got your father, Dinas, I have my father, and in Africa, these two men will be on the same level. They will think, okay, well, this guy has lighter skin, uh, straighter hair, or whatever. It's almost like no matter what your accomplishments are, you're almost on par with this type of motherfucker, and that's just our fucked up thinking that we got back home. But I don't want to say no more.
Okay, I disagree. Go ahead. I disagree. Go ahead.
Well, why do you disagree?
No, that's his name. I disagree. That's his name. I disagree.
That's me. I disagree. You can hear me?
Go ahead. I hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, that's messed up, man. There's nothing else to say about that Kenyan lady, honestly. As that's really messed up. I don't understand why someone would and I don't know what your experience is. It sounds like you ran into a lot yourself here in the United States, and in that they go out with white guys and everything, but that just being an African myself, I just don't even know how to take that. It's like there's so many African guys, right, left, everywhere you look, but you want to overlook them and get yourself in trouble like this off of Craigslist. That's insane.
Yeah, I agree. Professor Lumumba, go ahead.
Peace, family. Appreciate being back on the show. Appreciate you. Glad you all made it back to the States safe and sound. Right. I'm gonna be going on a trip with you all soon. I was gonna go to Sierra Leone, but I can't because I'm gonna be going to the ASH conference. So I won't be the Mesa Higher Ed conference. So I'm gonna be there doing my thug bizzle And so I won't be able to make it Sierra Leone, but I will make it soon. So my thoughts on this is I think there's a couple things. One, we're looking at a very strong level of self-hatred. Right, whenever you have an individual of any racial ethnic group praising an individual of another racial ethnic group and essentializing that racial ethnic group as being more responsible, dependable, reliable, etc., this is really what not only self-hatred, but we're even going into Stockholm syndrome, where they've drunk the Kool-Aid, they've believed the propaganda that has been disseminated for, we know, centuries, you can argue, and as a result, they've bought into it, right? But I would even argue this is another episode of Zaddy Chronicles, right? So we know this whole idea of divesting, right? And we've seen it seems almost every time we turn around, we see a black woman getting they ass beat by some white guy. And the thing is, we've heard these stories of black men are dusty, black man ain't this, black man ain't that, right? But we've seen documented cases of black women who got their ish together, going to homeless shelters and getting white guys, cleaning them up and taking care of them and being in relationships with them. So it really comes down to these are individuals who really have internalized white supremacy. But even more so, we're seeing more and more of these divestment women, unfortunately, being in situations where they're being beaten, stabbed, killed, maimed, taken advantage of. And yet, for real quickly, and I'm going to shut up. But the Seattle Seahawks, they had an offensive lineman who was in a relationship with a black woman.
Let me interject. You notice they they buried that under the rug. I
know, and that's what I'm about to get to.
Yeah, Chad Wheeler. His name is Chad Wheeler.
Dude beat the brakes off of her. He beat her like she got in trouble at school, like she didn't do her homework. He beat her ass, right?
He beat her like a slave. He literally said that.
You had divestment women going out on their social media channels saying, see, this is why you have to make sure that you make sure your daddy takes his medication. This is why you have to make sure that you don't do or say things that make him mad. Like they literally were blaming her, blaming the victim. But that would not have been the situation if a black man was the one who had done that to her.
I got another one for you. So this football player, Travis Kelce, had this sister, dated her 5 years. Made sure she paid for everything, went half on everything, wouldn't fire out nothing for 5 straight years. And these divestors aren't saying nothing about that.
Don't say anything about it.
She had to pay her way for everything for 5 years. He wasn't paying for nothing.
Hey, I want to.
Well, that's smart on his part, though. You ain't living off my dime,
that's smart as hell.
I always tell brothers, the man supposed to provide. I said, how they tell women, don't give a man wife benefits when you're just a girlfriend. Don't give him. Why would he pay for the milk if he could, buy the cow, whatever? I tell brothers, don't give a woman husband benefits when you're just boyfriend and girlfriend.
Lumumba speaks. You're in education, I'm assuming, because you're a PhD candidate.
Yes,
Do you remember that New York professor, Jewish guy, Ari Nagel, and he was going around impregnating, he was mostly targeting black women.
Sperminators.
Yeah, and he was just going around. Some he did it artificially, some he did it naturally. But it was this one 18-year-old. She was trying to get a baby so she could get an apartment or whatever. But he was going around impregnating black women all over New York City. Do you remember that guy?
Hey, can I ask a question?
But I do know Law and Order, they did a episode based on that.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Is there more black women dating white men than black men?
That's because they can't.
So I would say this.
Let me
answer that question. I would just speak for African American men, and Diane, this is your channel, so you could jump in any time. It's your barbecue. It tastes good, but I want to acknowledge that, of course, it is your barbecue.
Go ahead.
So I would say this. Studies show that I think it's 86% of black men who are married to black women. And out of that 14% that are not married to black women, I think 6% of those of the black men who aren't married to black women are married to white women. So 6% of African American men are married to white women. So it's an extremely low number, and I think it's about 4% for black women. So it's extremely low.
What's the source?
The source I have was blackdemographics.com. Black demographics for black people by black people.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we could talk about the elephant in the room. I mean, we can be balanced in this conversation.
What's the elephant in the room?
The elephant in the room is that you see more black men dating outside of their race than dating black women, and you see black women crying about this more so than we as black men.
Elvis. Let me ask you a question. All right, because this. Let me ask you a question. So, if let's say you have a group of 10 women, right? And as a black man, and this is normal because this is everything they're born with. We're not asking for money, this and that. If as a black man, if you say, hey, I want a woman with her natural hair, no fake eyelashes, and a nice figure, her God-given natural figure and a good figure, how many of those 10 women do you think will be and no kids out of wedlock? How many of those 10?
Are you projecting in this question that are you
How's
married
that
to a white woman?
projecting?
Because you're already skewing the question by saying that a lot of black women don't wear their natural hair. A lot of them have kids out of wedlock, and that's what you're saying. So you choose a white woman over a black woman because they don't wear their natural hair.
You sound, Elvis. I need Dior. I just asked you a question, and you said I was projecting what?
You're asking the question.
No. But this is a valid question. Dynast,
you're already skewing it against a black woman because you're saying they're more susceptible to have kids out of wedlock. They're more susceptible not to wear their own natural hair. That's what you're saying. That's what is implied in that question.
Are they born with weaves? Are they born with weaves? Huh? Are they born with weaves?
I'll choose a black woman with nappy hair and a big booty every day over a white girl with straight long blonde hair.
Notice, he didn't answer that question though. He said,
I just told you I'll pick a black woman every time because you're trying to say because they don't wear their natural hair, they're less desirable for you. Is that what you're saying? Because black women don't have there you go. So you're exposing yourself right now.
What did I expose? I want them with their natural hair.
Are you married to a black woman or a white woman?
Yo, is Elvis
are you answering the question or not? Let's be honest. We gotta have an honest conversation on this platform.
No. Okay. Where in that equation did a white woman come in? You didn't even mention other races.
You asked a question about a white woman and a black woman. Who would you choose? If you have five black women.
Did y'all hear me? Did I say anything about a white woman?
No, you did not. Elvis, you making stuff up now. You never asked that, Elvis. You just making shit up now. But go ahead.
I answer the question though. If you allow me, I will answer the question.
Go ahead, Lamar. Go ahead.
So the question. Elijah, can you ask the question one more time so I can make sure I got it, and then I'll answer.
The question was: say you just randomly statistics. You just randomly choose. You're in New York City, so take black chocolate women. Randomly choose 10 women. And you say, okay, out of those, your disqualifiers are no children out of wedlock, no weave, and your natural, fit, your natural shape. Some thickness or what, it doesn't matter, but you're in good shape. Those 3 qualifiers. And a good attitude and a nice attitude. But take the attitude out because that's subjective. So just those 3 qualifiers physically.
So I will answer the question. For me, I don't date women who wear weave, fake nails, fake hair, fake lashes.
So how does that diminish your dating pool then to black women?
Well, it's part of one
significantly.
It's one of the reasons why I'm by myself.
Thank you.
And because hold on, let me say this. So one, I would never marry a woman of another race. I'm a Pan-Africanist. I don't have the capacity to love a non-black person. Just for me, I don't have the capacity to love a non-black person. This is just what it is for me. But for me, because I won't do that, it makes it shrinks my dating pool, right? Because for me, and this is a conversation I had with my daughter, and I was telling her that typically for most people who wear artificial hair, artificial nails, artificial Venus eye trap, right? I saw a woman, her lashes were so big you couldn't even see her eyes. It was like she had hands on her
feather dust.
What you tend to find is that this is the person who is uncomfortable with their own person. They
hate themselves the most.
Hold on,
tell me a beautiful black woman who doesn't wear weave or nails or anything like that or makeup. Tell me one. Halle Berry, any other classic beautiful black women you can think about.
Let me finish, please, out of respect. And so these are individuals who have certain deficiencies with themselves, right? They have questions about themselves. And so as a result, they tend to do this. We find women of all races who engage in this type of behavior. What I will say is what we tend to find is it's more prevalent in our community because it's in our community. Most people say, well, women of other communities don't do X, Y, Z. And I always make the argument, you don't really know that because you're not actually in that community to see what's taking place on a day-to-day basis.
Look, let me tell you something. My ideal woman is a tall woman, maybe 5'9" to 5'11", natural hair and chocolate.
Right, and I've only dated women.
Have you found that? Have you found that woman?
I've only dated women who wore natural hair. So if a woman wore a weave, I would let them know right away this isn't going to work. So
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Yeah.
When I met my wife, she was wearing wigs, she was wearing makeup, but I talked her out of that shit. As black men, we can make our women change because they do that shit because that's what they think. That's what they think black men desire. They do that. So if you tell your woman that you don't need that from her, she might capitulate to you.
No, because there are plenty of women, and we can even see this with Kevin Samuels when he said brothers didn't want black women wearing weaves, etc. They called him gay. So the reality is, many women nowadays, irrespective of what their racial ethnic background is, they don't care what a man likes or what a man wants. They can do what they want to do. The second issue for me is I'm not, and when I meet a woman, I want her to already be what I want her to be. This is not Humpty Dumpty, and I'm not putting together a puzzle. I don't do that type of stuff. When I meet a woman, I want her to be what I want to be. I'm not going to talk a woman into being Afrocentric, talk a woman into not wearing weave, because most people, at some point, they're going to do it because they want to appease you and make you happy, but eventually they're going to go back to being who and what they are. It's just like in most cases where you might have an individual who's deep into the church. They meet someone who isn't, or may have what they call backslid, right? They come to the church because they want to appease their mate, but eventually it's going to come to the point, I'm not into this, and they're going to leave. So for me, I'm not into convincing someone to do anything. And second, and most importantly, I'm not into making anyone do anything. That's guerrilla pimping. I'm not making a woman do anything. I don't do that. Either this is what you're into when I met you, or you're not.
My man, you're never gonna find a woman who's 100% what you desire.
I know, bro. She has that naturally. What do you mean 100%? It's not like just
there are certain things for me that are non-negotiable. I know I'm not.
Why you put that comment up there, Dynast? Don't be listening to
Elvis. Hold on, Elvis. Are you a cuckold, Elvis? Are you a cuckold?
He sounds like one.
No, I'm not.
Maybe
that's why he don't like Nigerians. You know, he has to watch
anytime
one.
Somebody disagree or criticize anything, then that person becomes somebody who doesn't like this or like that. The point here is let's not only talk about the women, but let's talk about the men as well, because men does this. The prevalence of black men dating outside of their race is more than black women dating outside of their race.
Very small though. It's very small.
I mean, bro, we see it. Most of the black celebrities, people that you see, they are more visible. Most of them either dated white women or married to white women.
Elvis, let me say this: if sisters could date out, let's say they had the same social standing as Asian women, they would date out like there was no tomorrow. They would not hesitate.
You sound crazy. So black women aren't desirable because they're not making a lot of money, and black men are because we're making so much money, right?
No, actually,
dude, where does this guy get his talking points from? I mean, you set up these straw mans. It's like, dude, what did I say about? What does it have to do with money, dude? I just said
you're saying black women can't date outside of their race because they don't have the same social standing as Asian women, right?
Meaning what?
Yes.
They're not amenable.
What a stupid thing to say, bro. They choose not to date outside of their race. That's their choice.
One mic. Let Lumumba. He's a professor, so we're going to yield to him. Can you explain, this?
Right. So when we say social standing, what that means is, and this is a stereotype, right? That Asian women, or what they call yellow fever, these are individuals who have a thing for Asian women. They're considered stereotypically to be more docile, more likely to be amenable to male leadership and patriarchy, right? And to be what's the term brothers always use that sisters really get upset with?
Submissive.
And be submissive. Social standing is that this is why many individuals who have yellow fever feel that they have a higher social standing amongst men because of these stereotypical values and beliefs about Asian women. On the other hand, black women have cultivated, some through media, some through their own behavior, that is, of course, being proliferated through social media, of being masculine, being aggressive, not being submissive, not willing to be amenable and work together, so on and so forth. So the social standard is based on the view that society has of the individual person or the group. Oftentimes, individuals would call this a ethnic image. The ethnic image of Black women, unfortunately, has tend to be twofold. They're hypersexualized, and then they engage in what? Dysfunctional behavior. So most individuals may want to get the cookies, right? But they don't want to be in a relationship with someone like that. They're not going to bring that person home to their mother and father or to their colleagues.
Okay,
Because
so Dynast,
You guys are laughing at me, but
Dynast, we
tell you
kind of this was, and because I don't want the Black women in this chat to think that we're attacking them, because it was originally
you
about
guys you are attacking them.
Let her finish. Let her finish. Go ahead, Juicy. Go ahead.
So what it is that when I say and when I say social standard, like even from look, all these women are phenotypically. Oh, if you look at the spectrum, you have white and Black on opposite ends. So all these women tend to be closer. You got the hair texture, you got the skin color, the facial features. They're closer to the on the white end of the spectrum. Black people on the exact opposite. That is why when you talk about the whole system of white supremacy, that is why letting us have any mobility within the system will topple the system, because we're on the opposite end of the spectrum. We would just it would just shift the scale. So when I say that if they could, if that meaning that, I mean, you look on these apps or whatever, I mean, they talk about the desirability of them. If they could, they would. Now, in terms of men going to Africa, they just go there to get their rocks off. It's a sexual playground for them. Have you seen the Gambia? Have you seen what those guys do in the Gambia?
Oh,
I've even seen them with elementary school girls.
Listen, Juicy, Gambia is the pervert epicenter in Africa. Gambia. Go ahead.
And they'll be the first one to deny other Black Africans entry into the country. But they go there, let them, and the guys are coming with just all kinds of dereliction and everything. But I don't want to make this.
Are you telling me you mind white men sleeping with Black women and you don't mind Black men sleeping with white girls?
Bro, where does he get this from? What did I?
I'm asking you a question. I'm not saying anything. I'm asking you a question.
How did you imply that? How did you?
You have a problem with people going to the Gambia to have sex, white men going there to have sex with Black women, right? You have a problem with
children,
that?
Yes, with children spreading all kinds of diseases
with children.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not even that. Just do any man. Okay, let me tell you something. Any man, you go to any society, women don't want to hear this, but they're a currency in the sense that, like, when you're an outsider and you start messing with the women in that society, that can cause a lot of trouble if you're not careful. You just think you're going to be running through women. That causes and people are hyper vigilant when Black men come around. But just going into any society, unfortunately, Europeans can do that because they are the standard. Everybody bows to them and everything.
What did you call him? Snow God? Did you call him Snow God? Is that the term you used?
Yeah,
bro. It happens for us Black men the same way. If you're living in Africa as a regular old African dude and you leave Africa, come to the United States, make a few dollars, you go back there, you get more girls than you would if you was living there before you came to the States. Is that true or not?
Yeah, there's some truth to that, but that's
because there's economics, right? People look at you as a ticket out. They look at you as a meal ticket. They look at you as a way to go up.
You gotta understand there's still a connection between you and those women, and there's a certain limit you will go. You're not gonna engage. Well, I don't know. It's a different. We live in a different time, but you're not gonna engage in all types of depravity. If you're a moral human being, when you look at that woman, you see yourself. So you're not gonna sit here and look.
So do you exclusively date Black women? Since you're preaching that, do you exclusively date Black women, my guy?
Bro, what is this about?
It's a question. Answer the question, yes or no.
Actually, I do prefer Black women. I just told you.
Do you exclusively date them?
Do I exclusively date them?
Yeah. Do you only date Black women?
Yeah.
No. That's a lie right there.
But it's not,
because I asked you that question before and you didn't answer the right way.
I mean, I don't know what you're proving with that. No,
the point here is there's a lot of Black men who have never dated outside of their race. You know, they have their problems with black women, fine, but they can deal with it. They don't run to the next woman, the next person, race and date them, and because I guarantee you say some of the same shit that that girl was saying. Oh, you like white women probably because they're more respectful to
But how do you
you.
know that?
They're
Did you hear?
easier. Because,
Did you?
bro, I've
You're the one
seen
that
dudes
keeps
like
bringing
you
that
100
up.
times before. You don't even got to explain it to me. I've seen it. And
Well,
everybody's talking shit because my name is Elvis, but I've never did it outside of my race. I've never even did it outside of my own country. I've only dated women from my country.
And I would
That's
say,
my
I would say
preference.
this much. I've had conversations with men from other racial ethnic groups, and they tell me that their women are crazy too.
I mean, it's Elvis coming on here saying like
I've been told that
setting
by
up
men.
these straw mans. I don't know where he's getting this stuff from. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hey guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. Hit the like button as you come to the chat room. Again, hit the like button. Also, make sure you buy the documentary. Listen, links in the chat room. I'm gonna put the link in the chat room. If you'd like to call in, you're more than welcome to call in. Listen, I like to hear the women. Women call in. Call in, women. But listen, link is in the chat room. Go ahead and call in. I disagree. You real quiet over there.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say right now. I'm just listening to Elvis and just
Let me ask you, Dennis. You said when you were at the UGA, right? You were a football player. You said in the past, after games, y'all go downtown Athens and smash on some Becky's. Y'all even did it maybe in LA. Let me ask you this: did that change when you were in that mindset? Were you doing it just because it was available, or you were doing it because you had some type of animus
available?
toward
It
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Elvis gets this. Like, I'm just looking at people that, oh, he's a swirler. No, men and women, they approach sex differently.
So white girls, you're saying that white girls are easier to sleep with than black girls, huh?
Look, that's not what we're saying.
That'll be a plus. That'll be a plus for the black women. They'll like to hear that they're not easy like a white girl who would pull it out for you real quick.
Well, I would say this, if I could speak to this. So I grew up in the inner city, went to an all-black high school. And so, when I went to a high school of maybe about 1,900 students, there probably was 60 white students. But our belief was white women were easy. We didn't even talk to them, but we just believed like they're easier.
Y'all gotta understand, men and women approach sex differently.
For most of them, you're just a fetish. They just want to have a black dick and tell their friends about it. That's what it is. Their family most of the time won't allow them to marry.
They either want to ride you.
That's what I'm saying. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Like, it's not like. And then as we get older, like I said, interracial relationships.
If you don't care about black women dating white dudes, then don't make comments about it since you don't care about that.
So here's what I'll say to that. You know what? When you go there, stay there. Because when you now go and start bringing that sickness back amongst the people, it becomes a problem.
What are you talking about? You've dated a white girl before and went back to a black girl. You've done the same exact thing you're talking against right now. Don't be a hypocrite.
I'm not being a hypocrite. What I'm saying is it's a mentality that comes along with that. Okay. When they start, when women cleave on to those type of men, they start thinking a certain way. They start acting a certain way. All right, I've seen it. You see it all the time, and you see it in corporate America. Well, I hate to use the term bedwench, but when you see them, there's a certain way they act.
It's true.
Then you just already know what time it is.
That's
so
true.
I don't want that energy around me. They can, you know what I'm saying? If you go.
That really goes both ways. You have so what you're speaking to, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, is that there are some black women who they get a certain social status, they're in a relationship with a white man, and they act like white men are better. We see brothers all the time who act the same way, if you want to be honest.
Yeah.
Let me say this. I was at the gym working out, and my trainer, he's a little bigger than me, right? So we were working out. I think we were doing shoulders. It was shoulder day. It was shoulder day for me today as well, right? And so long story short, the brother came in and said, "Who's stronger between you and him?" And I said, well, I'm stronger because he goes home to a white woman every day. So you can't be a strong black man if you're going home to a white woman every day. Everybody at the gym.
So you're weaker because you don't go home to a black woman every day. You need to find a black woman and get married. Then you'll be stronger than him for sure.
So what I'll say to that, what else I think Professor Lumumba might concur with this is that this system will never give a black male, even if he's married to a woman, that type of carte blanche power that they would give a woman. So it's like you can't that they will never give that stick to a man to wield because he is always going to be a wild card. You never know where he's going to swing it at the people or he's going to swing it toward the oppressor. So he just can't be trusted with that type of power. But when you put in the hands of a woman,
you look at Clarence Thomas, for example. They trust some. But you've had to show years of loyalty, right?
and I guarantee the first slip up, he's up out of there. You just and when you think about Jim Sedanius' social dominance theory, when you think about it, you will never give a man that kind of power, because like I said, he can swing that stick toward the people, toward the masses, or he can turn around and swing it toward you, and now you got a problem to deal with. So they will never give a man that type of power. You go ahead.
Just look at this. You got 2 black Supreme Court justices who both have spouses outside of their races. Right. Why do you think that is?
Right. Well, I would argue that part of that is because they know that they aren't going to push a radical black agenda when they know that they're linked to someone of another racial or ethnic group. So Malcolm,
I'll tell you this from my personal experience, right? Let me just interject. Sorry for interrupting. Most of these black girls who are nerds, who are really, really smart, most of these so-called black dudes don't be checking for them, especially in their younger years, their formative years. We don't be checking for them. We want the big booty Judy who's going to be twerking at the juking parties and shit like that. And that's who we have babies by. And these girls go on to top universities and meet these smart white guys or black girls, and they get married to them.
Elvis, are you saying big booty Judy ain't smart? I know plenty of intelligent. I'm in Atlanta.
Well, when I say big booty Judy, I would say, not the smart ones, the ones who are hood rats, the ones who will pull out real quick and get pregnant at 16.
What I would say to that is we don't know what dynamic led to that black female Supreme Court justice being with that white guy. We don't know. She might have had xanthitis from a very early age. We don't know. So let's not speculate. What we do know is that the power structure tends to promote black people who are in interracial relationships because there's not a concern or fear that this person would promote a radical black agenda. This is what we do know. This is a reality. Malcolm X spoke to this many years ago and said, if you look at all these so-called black leaders that were going to the White House to speak on behalf of black people, the so-called Negro, as they should say back in the 60s, he said all these individuals are in interracial relationships. And so they're not really advocating for black people. They're advocating for social acceptance of them with their white boo thing, right? Their white significant other. So just focus on things that we can substantiate, that we could prove through time and history, rather than making some stereotypical comments that we really don't know if they're true or not.
Yeah, I'll say this. I know more black men who are married to white women than I know black women who are married to white men.
Go ahead, Chrissy. Let's hear from the woman. Go ahead, Chrissy.
Yes, hi. Yeah, I was calling. I didn't hear the whole thing. I know there was a video about a Kenyan woman, but I didn't get the whole thing. But as far as what you were talking about, the whole natural hair and all that, I don't know. Maybe it's my little tribe, but I know a lot of black women, especially these days, who have natural hair. I mean, there's a whole natural hair movement, so I don't really know what that's about. But one thing I notice is there's a double-mindedness. I'm going to have to say that. I hear a lot of black men who say, they want a woman with their natural hair, or they want a black woman with their natural hair. Generally, they're not talking about kinky, short, black hair, right? Now, no one comes out and says that specifically. It sounds good to say you want somebody with natural hair. And there are a lot of people. I mean, Asian women have natural hair. There are black women who have more of a silky texture natural hair. But many of y'all are not talking about the
an afro
texturized hair. Most black men are not. Even when I was younger,
locks.
Yeah, when I was, if they're long, they like it long hair. They love long
box braids.
Yeah, that's fine. Box braids is fine. That's cultural. So, but even when I was younger, and it wasn't even an experiment, but I could take it as such. I've had natural hair since I was 16. And when I would wear a weave, I got more heads turning versus when I had my natural hair.
I'm glad you said that, Chrissy. What was the quality of the guy?
I don't know the quality of the guy. I was on college campuses. I was in my early 20s. They were in their 20s, you know, or a range, but I noticed a difference. And I noticed that whether I was in Philadelphia or if I was in New York or if I was in DC, I noticed that there's this particular difference. So I think it sounds great and it sounds Afrocentric, but there's a double-mindedness in that statement because.
Could I interject, sister?
Go right ahead.
I'm glad you brought up when you were on a college campus, and I'm gonna make comments and give it back to you. One, I used to work at a Black Culture Center when I was in undergrad, and I remember there was some sisters who were very beautiful, used to wear their natural hair. No one paid attention to them. One sister came in who I would say was average looking at best, right? She came in with a blonde weave. Everybody was, oh my God, you look so beautiful. And I actually ended up having a visceral reaction and saying, stop that, stop. And they was like, what's the problem? I said, every time when you make those comments, when the sister got a weave in, these were Black women and Black men that were making these comments, I said, you are reinforcing the belief that the more European we try to make ourselves look, the more attractive we are. Right. And so what I would argue is that, unfortunately, we know that this is a disease amongst many African people throughout the world globally, is that we've internalized European versions of beauty. This is a reality. And so as a result, the majority of Black people, we know that in our echo chambers of Blackness, this isn't the case, but the majority of Black people have a pro-white, anti-Black disposition. Right? When it comes to politics, when it comes to culture, when it comes to professionalism, when it comes to beauty, etc. And so this is, I think I would argue that this is what you are articulating and espousing.
Right. I would agree with you on that.
Actually, I've heard many women have said this, that when they went natural, and mind you, when I say natural, I'm not just talking about that, you know, just your natural hair unkept or not styled or anything. I mean, there are ways to do your hair up like that. I've seen it. But a lot of women have said when they went natural, the quality of the guys changed.
Exactly.
They said the quality of the guys changed. It wasn't the quantity. It was the quality. They got different type. They got a different type. I mean, because
did the quality improve or did it?
They said it improved because it takes a different type of guy to me, even relaxed hair, that straight relaxed hair, it doesn't what's the word, accentuate a Black woman's features. Black women, they're curvy, they're shapely, and then you have this, it looks like, I don't know, notebook paper on top of it, just flat and thin, or you know, it don't look right. So even relaxed hair I don't even like. So they'll tell you that the quality of the guy changed when they went natural, not necessarily quantity.
I get that. Also, I would add, because I know there was a kind of a debate back and forth earlier about, you know, someone was saying, you know, Black women wear weaves and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, a lot of Black women do wear weaves, right? I think today, like in 2022, I think, because women throughout, you know, human history have always done things to enhance their beauty, what they consider enhancement. I think we've gone overboard. You know, the whole BBL culture, the lashes that look like, you know, visors culture, it's extreme now, and it's
like
to me, it's grotesque.
Trying to eat you.
Yeah, it's grotesque. It's grotesque at this point. But even let's say early 2000s, I heard a lot of complaints about Black men saying, oh, they don't date Black women because they wear weaves. But white women actually do a lot more aesthetically than Black women. White women get Botox.
They still look like white women.
Let me finish,
still look like white women.
Okay, and Black women, many of them still look like Black women with weaves as well.
No, they
white
don't.
women,
No, they
white
don't.
women. Can I finish, please?
Them weaves look horrible.
Some of them do, but there are women who are spending $500 on weaves. So I'm sure there's some of them.
Are you attracted to women? Are you attracted to women? So
I'm a woman, and I'm observing.
It looks bad. The weave looks bad.
Okay, well that's fine. Some of them don't.
Well, let me just say this. Let me just say this, please.
Tell whether they're wearing weaves.
Hold on. Stop it, though. I want Chris. Can you guys not interrupt Chris? I'm trying to hear. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, white women do a lot more aesthetically. White women get Botox, which is shoving jelly into your face. Tons of white women, I would say, I don't know if I could say majority, but a large percentage get breast implants. You know, now you can take a weave off. It's kind of hard to take jelly out of that's been shoved into your chest through surgery. You know, so to me, that's way more invasive than a weave on top of your head.
Okay, you're moving the goalposts, Chrissy. I'm sorry.
The goalposts. Because
these
you
are
were talking
aesthetics.
about weaves, right? And I'm not necessarily saying you in
All women
particular.
have
I
breasts.
was saying,
All women
Let
have
me.
yes,
breasts.
all
That's why I
women
want to
have
make my
breasts and all
public
women
service
have hair,
announcement. Let me make my public service
right?
announcement. Any black man out there, if you don't like women with weave, still, approach a woman who's wearing weave. And maybe if you're good enough, you can encourage her not to, to stop wearing weave. Don't
I'm
let
not
that be a
doing that.
don't let that be a deterrent from not dating black women because they wear weave.
Yeah,
You can change
I'm
you
not
can
saying
change them from wearing weave.
I'm not saying you have to
Let me
choose
say
a
this.
woman, but I was talking about not necessarily this panel. I was talking about in the early 2000s. I heard a lot of sentiment. There were black men who were saying they didn't date black women because they wore weaves, but essentially white women do a lot more invasive
You are
things to
deflecting.
enhance their.
You are
How is that?
deflecting.
Am I
Let him
deflecting?
Because
Yes,
How
you're
come?
deflecting. Yes, you are.
Please tell me how I'm deflecting.
First of all,
all women have breasts.
All women
What?
have hair.
No, no. Okay, look. No man can
And
look. Well,
white
you can
girls are
look at
trying
a.
to equalize it with
Okay,
that Brazilian
okay.
butt lift stuff now
Hold on.
too.
Stop, Elvis. Okay, you talk about breast implants. When a man sees a woman's breast, he is not 100% sure whether it's natural to her or not. Okay, but that's
Okay.
something internal. All
Uh-huh.
men. These are features. These are what do you call it? Sex traits that a woman has: breast, hips, ass. So whether it's accentuated or not, it doesn't matter. It's they still have it. We are talking about. We know that that's not your real hair. It doesn't look right on you.
exactly. It
It
doesn't
looks
look
like it
Okay,
looks
but if
like
you
a
want a
mop
natural
that you
woman, you
just
want a natural woman, right?
we said, oh my God, like
Am I incorrect?
you are. This is a
For me,
black
yeah.
woman.
For me, I
If
don't
you
want a
want a
woman.
Black
natural woman,
women
you want
love
a
to do
natural
this.
woman.
Black women love to do this. Look,
Do it.
I said, look, I never said anything about breast. She had, see, that's the thing. I never said she had to have big breasts. I never said that.
I'm not targeting you
Okay,
in my
I
comment. I said that I heard
no, but
bits and
when
pieces
we
of the
say we want
conversation before.
natural women, we are
Uh-huh.
talking. First of all, we said natural hair. Most guys say. I really don't. You rarely hear a black man that says, "Oh, I want a natural woman." And if he says he
Okay.
wants a natural woman, he is talking about lashes, them long ass nails, and a pound of makeup on her face, and that hellacious weave. That's what they're talking about.
Okay.
And,
But
and,
but
I,
breast
and I'm
implants
going to say
and
this,
Botox is work. That's
and,
cool.
and I'm going to say this. So I don't date outside my race, right? So, like I said it before, I met a sister. We were talking, and I told her that it was going to be a no-go for me. She said, "Why?" I said, "Because you wear weave." And I told her that it was psychologically and physically unappealing to me. And so she said, "Well, I just do it because it's easier for me to get up in the morning." And I said, "Well, that means you're lazy, because most people, when they get up in the morning, unless they don't have any hair on the top of their head, they comb or brush their hair. But for me, it's just a no-go. And I'm at the age to where I'm not convincing anyone to do anything. Either you are what you are, I just accept you as you are. And if you're not what I want, I'm not going to be."
Do you prefer women, right, Mister Mulumba, whatever?
Lumumba, what's
Uh,
the question?
I said you prefer women, right?
Of course. I have a question.
Okay, so I mean that's a conversation that could be held between you and her about her weave wearing. Maybe you can enlighten her on why she shouldn't be wearing weave, and she can come to your side of the
Well,
fence on
here's
that
the thing.
issue.
Bro, did
Or
you
you
hear what
just
he
feel like
just said?
she wasn't worth it,
Let
and
me
you
answer
just
the
stopped
question.
the relationship. Go ahead.
Let me respond to the comment. I choose. Listen, if I'm going to enlighten someone, that's going to be in the community work I'm doing. I'm not going to do that with the person I'm in a relationship with. I want the person to be evenly yoked and on the same wavelength as me. To me, for me, that's like raising another child. I don't do that with the person I'm courting. If I have to educate the person I'm courting, I'm not going to be with them.
You know, it's funny
Elvis.
when you say that. When you say that, Eric,
Hold on, one mic. Let's pass the observing immigration. Oh, immigrant. Oh, go ahead. Oh, observing immigrant. Go ahead.
Hi. I noticed that a lot of women here set the trends for, the Black diaspora. And I've watched videos of women doing their fake hair, and it takes forever. The wig caps, the glue, the makeup to make the edges match. It's ridiculous.
Mhm.
I've been natural since the year 2000, and you know, I've never worn a weave. I've never worn a wig. And, Chrissy was saying when she wore a weave, she saw a difference in behavior. But to me, I've never noticed a difference in terms of men's responses with my natural hair. And when I went natural, I kept it natural. Um, I never, just plait and twisted it. When I came to America, people were asking me, I had a woman ask me, how did I twist it? I'm like, how do you not know how to twist your hair? But I noticed a lot of women would say, "Oh, they don't know how to do their daughter's hair," and I'm like, "How do you not know how to do a little girl's hair?" It just seemed really bizarre. Like there's this, um, h- I don't know, I don't want to say hatred for the natural hair, but a lot of women just act like they don't know what to do with their hair. And I noticed that Black women are trying to wear white women's hair better than white women, which makes no sense.
Right.
Because
It's generational. It's generational. It's generational.
And if I can interject very quickly, because I work in higher ed, I've even had Black women tell me I won't be attractive if I wear my natural hair.
Exactly.
So sometimes it's internal. It's not, oh, this guy can enlighten them. It's really, in many cases, a case of self-hatred.
Bro, I think that's an excuse. If we're just kind of bringing it down to we don't date Black women because they wear weave. Come on, man.
First off,
bro,
I
nobody said
date
that.
Black women. I don't. First off, let me get this straight. As I stated for the umpteenth time, I do not date outside my race. What I stated was I only date Black women who wear natural hair. I've been in 3 serious relationships in my adult life, and all serious relationships, the women wore afros. Period. I don't date outside my race. I never have. I never will. So let's get this clear. I don't date Asian women. I don't date white women. I don't date Arab women. I don't date Latino women. I only date Black women, but I only date Black women who wear natural hair.
Let's okay. I need to define this word date because people get this mixed up, and I think for better or for worse, like Dynast, when you're at UGA, were you dating those women, quote unquote, dating those women?
No, I was just smashing.
Exactly. Like people need to stop. Like there's a difference. There's a real big difference. Somebody in the chat put Rachel Dolezal. Look, let me tell you something. Before she was even outed, any Black person with sense could see that this woman was faking the funk. She was full of shit. Any Black person could see that this was not a biracial woman. She was just wanted to be down bad. And you know what a brother sees? Oh, this is some easy ass. I can tear this shit up. I mean, but that doesn't mean he's dating her. I mean, he'll just hit that. You know, because
and let me say this: I have never in my life ever even been open to the idea and concept of being with a woman of another race. As I stated when I first came on, I don't have the mental and emotional capacity to even love a person of another race. So that would never be an option for me.
So you wouldn't clap those cheeks?
You mean just love anybody that's outside of your race in a friendship manner, or just you mean romantically?
In any way, I've never.
Man, that sounds mad racist to me. You're not a racist guy, are you?
Well, racism plus is of course prejudice plus power.
So you hate anybody who's not Black. You can't love anybody who's not Black.
Well, for me, I said I don't have the mental or emotional capacity.
That's crazy. I don't think that's true, brother. That's not who we are as Black people. We're not hateful people who hate other people just because they're not Black.
I'm speaking for myself. I didn't say what for Black people. I said for myself. I've been this way since I was a child, and I've always owned the fact that I am a bigot.
There's no bigotry about it.
I'm glad that you admitted that. Okay, good.
You have the right to be.
I've never denied that. People who know me, I've been this way since I was a child. I can't speak for Black people as a whole, but I engage in bigotry. I'm just being honest. Anyone who knows me knows this.
That's not bigotry.
I've never had a non-Black friend ever in my life. I've never been interested in dating a non-Black or being in a relationship or even entertaining the idea.
Yeah, neither have I, but I don't put the yoke on my neck of never being able to love somebody else outside of my race. I mean, that's kind of extreme, brother. Do you agree with that, Dynast? Can you co-sign that?
Elvis is being disingenuous. He's full of shit because he just a minute ago he just said he's never dated.
I've never dated a white woman. I've never really had any white friends or any friends that wasn't from my country. But let's say that. But it doesn't mean I don't have the capacity to like somebody outside of their race, to be friends with them, or to befriend them. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying I'm 38, and this is what I know about myself. I'm 38 years old, and these are certain things that I know about myself. Do I have non-Black colleagues that I get along with well in the workplace? Absolutely. Do I go to the gym and there are people who they can spot me well and we can have great conversations? Absolutely. But to be my friend, you have to share my values. And the first value that is salient for me is Blackness. Right? So this is just who I am. I've been this way my entire life. So this isn't hyperbole. This isn't me putting on airs. because I'm on the channel. This is literally who I am and how I've been since I was a child. If I could get my brother, sister, even my parents on here,
are you gonna be a professor or teacher one day, or gonna work with other races and things like that?
Don't answer him because he's not being this. He just, like I said,
I'm asking an honest question because that could be a hindrance to your professional life.
I answer the question, and I am a professor currently. And so when students ask my personal opinion about things, I say my personal opinion is irrelevant. What we are here to do is to educate you and to help you develop a sense of self-authorship where you are able to undergird your own values and beliefs based on factual information. So I don't share my personal values and beliefs with my students in any way, shape, or form.
Hey, Dennis, I do want to say this, and I know this is going to set everybody afire, but I've heard this before and I observed it with my own eyes. Let me give you a little backstory. So there used to be, when I lived in New York, there used to be this book club that they will have every week or every 2 weeks or whatever. It was at a black bookstore in Harlem. And, you know, we would, this was when I first heard the term woke, because in hindsight, I think about it, this was when this whole, because before woke, there was conscious. It was just conscious brothers or conscious brothers and sisters. It was that was that little niche of, you know, Black America. You had the general secular type, and you just had the people that were conscious. You know, the conscious people, you know. But I realized when this intersectional politics started infiltrating the quote unquote conscious collective, and it turned into the woke movement. Let me tell you how. So we be in a book club and we'll be talking about certain things, and I'm thinking everybody is on the same page. You know, sometimes I could come off as a little militant. I don't like the term, but I could come off a little militant. But what I noticed was, I remember this one guy, he would do this, and he would, like, he never stayed for the entire session. He would drop something and just like 10 minutes later bounce out once everybody started arguing. We would be talking about certain cultures in Africa, and like clockwork, he never missed a beat. He would always say, well, what about the gay aspect, the homosexual aspect of Africa? And he would give a little anecdote, and people are like, what the fuck are you talking? Well, this has nothing to do with anything. And he'd get everybody riled up and he'd bounce. And then you would also see, this is when I noticed, because I was shocked about this. This is when I noticed that colorism was still a big issue amongst Black women, because they would come up and they would start talking. And look, we all got made fun of. I'm African, everybody, but I never internalized it. But you would see how a lot of the Black women would talk about how they still had issues with themselves. And I'd be shocked. I'd be like, wait, you're an adult and you have issues with your skin color. So I say that's when I remember, and I saw all this, that I saw it start to infiltrate that. But what I will say is, because I remember being at book club, I started to notice that a lot of the bedwenches, right, they would be on that natural hair. And because you would approach them, because I'm attracted to that. Once that's like a calling card for me. I would see it. And then when you start talking to them, you're like, oh shit, this girl's fucked up. Like, just talking to her mentality. But I noticed that, and I know some brothers, because I've heard brothers say this, a lot of times you got to be careful, because when you see a girl with natural hair, you don't automatically assume that she is what Professor Malone will say, pro-Black or whatever.
Right.
You can't automatically assume that.
Yeah.
Because you start talking to her, a lot of them be on some bedwench shit.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You know.
Right.
So I know I'm not the only one that's noticed that, but I noticed a lot of them would be on some swirling. I remember this.
Hold on. We got a commercial break. Everyone, if you have not bought the documentary In Search of Uhuru, make sure you go to searchforuhuru.com. Make sure you go to searchforuhuru.com. Buy the documentary. I will greatly appreciate it. I want to hear back from the women. Observing Immigrant. And then we'll pass it to Chrissy. But guys, make sure you go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. Link is in the chat room and on the screen. Observing Immigrant. You there?
Yes.
Go ahead.
On what?
Okay. Just if you wanted to add anything, but if not, that's fine.
As I said before, the natural hair thing, I personally don't find that the women here embrace their natural hair, and I think that's sad. Um, Unfortunately, I've seen more effort put into, I've seen women put cornrows, beautiful cornrows on their hair just before they put a wig on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but why didn't you just wear the cornrows? But then when I came here, people were associating cornrows with gang activities. And I thought that was dumb because I'm like, why would I let a society tell me that cornrowing my hair put me in a gang? So I would cornrow my hair on purpose, and go around just be wherever I am, because I'm like, why would you let people dictate? But again, I think
But
it's
I would
growing
just
up
say,
here. Huh?
if I could interject very quickly, part of that is because there's a power dynamic, and typically when in that power dynamic, a person is what there's a access to resources. So many people will acquiesce because of the need for access to resources.
Mhm.
But I understand where you're coming from, 100%.
Yeah, but again, I guess because I come from the Caribbean, I was not put in a position where I had to, as you say, acquiesce to European standards. When I came here, I wore my hair how I wanted, and for 10 years I wore locks, and now I just shaved it all off, and I'm just wearing it this way. Unfortunately, my son says wearing my hair short looks like a lesbian, but again, in my mind, I'm like, well, black women been wearing their hair short since the beginning of time, and they were rocking it. You know what I'm saying? So to now want to associate short hair with lesbianism, I don't accept that either. So when I go out, I wear my nice dresses and I look cute. So that there's no blurred lines. Let's put it that way. You know that I'm a woman when I go out with my dress on or my skirt on or my shorts or whatever, and I'll wear my African bangles and my African shoes and stuff like that. But I don't see why we keep letting society dictate what is and what isn't. When I wear my hair short, I'm a black woman. Like this picture I have here, this is when I had locks. And I wore those for 10 years. And, people were like, oh, your locks are rough and all that stuff. I think we let society dictate too much who we are as a people, and we have to go back to embracing what is culturally ours and what is culturally us. Yeah.
Yeah, but and what we'll go ahead and close up. Chris, you got something else you want to say before we close out? Chris, you want to go ahead and close out?
Yeah, I agree very much with observing immigrant. I think with a lot of women, for women, beauty is very important. Being desired is very important for us. And, it starts from the time you are a young child, and whatever you're exposed to, whether it be the princesses, the Cinderellas, the dolls, So I think it's important for parents to be very conscious in the images that their young daughters are receiving, and accepting, because that will, once certain things are ingrained in your mind, it's hard for people to shake it.
Yes.
Once they're convinced that, or they're experiencing that, lighter is more appealing, even in their own community, or straighter hair is appealing, it's hard for many women to shake those things. So I think maybe that's what many of you are seeing. The black male experience is different from the black female experience. There's certain things that both of us don't fully get about the other because we haven't fully walked in each other's shoes. So I think that's also part of it as well.
Absolutely. Hey, Donis, real quick. You didn't. I thought you were going to talk about the skin bleaching Oba from of Oyo.
Well, no. My thing is, like I said at the beginning, people, especially black people, like especially with Meghan Markle, they pride themselves to celebrate European monarchy more than we do our own African monarchy. And so the example I was giving, when Queen Elizabeth died, you have all these Nigerians, Africans, black people in general, rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth, oh my God. But then when the Alaafin of Oyo passed away, it was pretty much, and the Zulu King passed away I think early this year or last year too. And, it was like whatever.
Right.
So you didn't post that picture because he was skin bleaching.
No,
No,
where'd you get that
no.
from?
Yeah, where you
Yeah.
get that from? We were talking about the skin bleaching.
Yeah, but part of
You
that
say what?
syndrome, if you want to be quite honest.
Nah,
What'd you say?
the topic had nothing to do with skin bleaching.
No, but when you posted the picture, you could tell that the guy was a bleacher.
Everybody
I mean,
knows
you
he's
could tell the guy was.
yeah, everybody. You started acting like Elvis now. Everybody knew he's skin bleached. You heard him talking about that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. No, sis, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah, everybody knew he's skin bleaching.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ramuma.
Yeah, so one, I would agree with Sister Chrissy, right? I know I have a daughter. She's always worn her hair natural, and I've always, really praised her for that, how beautiful she is with the natural hair, so on and so forth. I made sure my son would do that as well. But also, I would make sure that I would give her examples of beautiful Black women. So, I do a thing with my children to where they have back to school presents. So they get it. My daughter would get a back to school present, and it'd be a picture of beautiful Black women, right, wearing natural hair. I remember I had one picture. This is when she was in first grade, and she's in 7th now. I gave her a back to school present where there was a picture of a Black girl wearing a school uniform, and she was looking in the mirror at herself, and she had on African garb. And then I bought her a book to go along with that was called Messiah and I. And it's about a Black girl growing up in Brooklyn. Shout out to the BK, who, of course, imagined her life as if she was an East African girl living in Kenya or Tanzania. So I think we have to be proactive, right, rather than reactive when it comes to these issues. And so I think that's what's most important.
Well, we do need immediate.
You brought up. You brought up. No, you heard him. Hey, you brought up the books. So guys, I write children's books too. I haven't really been shouting them out lately.
Oh.
But my children's book, Kinky Hair is Queenly Hair, is available on Amazon. Just Google my name, Dynasty Amir, and you'll see all the books, all my titles that are available. Again, Kinky Hair. Let me do the solo loud joint. Okay, Kinky Hair is Queenly Hair is available on Amazon. Just type in my name, Dynasty Amir, and all of my titles, all of my books will show up. So, okay. All right, guys, but we're going to go ahead and close out. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty Amir, Search for Uhuru. Peace.